time for Scraplift Crafternoon. This week we are going to be scrap lifting this layout. It is a beautifully pieced pumpkin. And so what I see on this layout is a single page layout with a large element on it. And so that is where I'm going to take my inspiration from. I'm going to take the large element and I'm going to use that on my page. So I have chosen to use this Simple Vintage Autumn Splendor by Simple Stories as my product for this page, and then I will be back and I will put together a layout for you. So see you in a sec. I will put Jessica's layout up in the corner for you in a minute, but I want to say that I am taking my inspiration from her large element, and I am using this cut file from Silhouette Studio that I have on my computer already downloaded. Now, I love cut files. I don't love to back cut files, so I am actually going to use the Silhouette Studio software to create the pieces to back my cut file. And you can do this by grouping the different colors that you're wanting to cut or the different patterns, in my case, onto your screen, and then you use the offset function. If you would like me to tell you more about how to do that, I can do that via messaging. But for right now, this is me grouping the various elements on my screen. I have it just about ready to send over, and then I'm going to just show you where I am gluing down one piece, the stem, onto my finished cut file. Now, I cut my cut file in craft. My piece of craft was a little bit thicker than normal cardstock, and so I actually had a hard time getting the silhouette to cut through it completely. Now, I chose some photos from November of 2014 where I was making pumpkin mash from some sweet pumpkins that we picked from a pumpkin patch that fall. I used those as table decorations in my home for fall, and then the day after Thanksgiving I set to work making pumpkin mash. I don't remember now what I cooked with them. Probably pumpkin bread, because that is something that I personally like to eat. I am not a pumpkin pie fan, but I do like pumpkin bread. So these two photos I had in a groove book, and if you're not familiar with groove books, this was a $5 including shipping. You got a book of 100 prints. Those prints are terrible, but they were the only prints that I had of this particular instance. Back in 2014, 2015, when I was doing more picture taking with my iPhone than with my Nikon, I wasn't very good at saving them onto my hard drive, and I didn't realize that once I deleted them off iCloud, they were gone. So I don't have these anywhere at all. So what I did here is I put them on my scanner bed and used my printer to scan, and then saved them into my hard drive, and then I printed them as 2 3x4s on a 4x6 photo mat. And so that is how I got the smaller photos from larger prints. I am showing you the patterns that I have chosen to back my cut file. I have already backed the cut file at this point, so here it is finished. Really adore how this turned out. It turned out just exactly the way I wanted it. I'm going to try to add some elements to this cut file too, because I am going to put foam tape or actually fun foam on the back of both my photos and my cut file to give the layout a little bit of dimension. So I am adhering the fun foam to the back of my photos now. Off camera, I am trimming it down a little bit because it was too large. I don't always keep fun foam on my desk, but today I had it, and so I'm going to use it. So I'm just going to glue to the back of my pictures. I know that Jessica's layout only uses one photo. I'm going to use two. I have way too many photos to do a whole bunch of pages of just a one photo layout. I am also going to try to distress the die cut pieces that I'm going to use. These two particular little ticket type ephemera pieces I'm going to tuck behind a photo. You should be able to see them in the photo at the end of my video of the full layout. And so I'm just distressing the little bits and pieces as much as possible. Here's where I'm going to add the more fun foam to the back. And actually, here's where you see that I use up the back pieces of my foam dots. Fun foam is expensive, foam tape is expensive. I save these and I just use them because why waste them? They're the perfect thing to use to help lift your layout. My background element on my cardstock, I'm going to start building the layout. I'm not going to glue anything down just yet, but I'm going to place the photos down and the pieces of ephemera and just kind of get an idea of where they're going to end up before I glue. I do glue a little bit of this on camera for you, but mostly I do a lot of the gluing off camera. I want to use that chipboard title Autumn that I just showed you real quick as my title, as my big portion of my title. So you're going to see me play with where I want to put it because I know where the journaling's going to go on this layout, but I haven't quite decided where the title is going to go. And so I put it down here and I see that it gets washed away by all of my patterns, and I'm going to move it to my photos. And in the end, it actually spans across both photos a little bit with only a couple of letters on the actual cut file. I add some more ephemera and some chipboard pieces from the collection. Here in the bottom right corner, I'm showing you that I'm going to put my journaling right there. Now I've brought the camera in closer so that you can watch what I'm doing, and I am again distressing the ephemera pieces just a little bit before placing them down on my layout. And here's where you see that I am beginning to glue things. I usually glue things off camera, and I do a little bit, but I do glue these on. At this point, my photos are glued to the layout. As I glue down my title and some of the ephemera, you're going to see that I add some foam dots underneath some of the letters, especially the ones that end up on the cut file themselves, because I don't want my title to be two levels. I want it to be straight across. I mean, I'm making my letters kind of up and down and tilted, but I want the depth to be the same. So the M ends up with a glue dot under it, and the N as well once I've finished gluing. So here I am going to start adding the glue dots here and make sure that I get the title the same dimension. It's pretty easy to do. I mean, quick dry glue does dry quickly, but not so quickly that you can't play around like this with it a little bit. I'm gonna lay down my journaling now. I had pre-printed and put foam strips on the back of the 1/4 inch strips for my journaling already. And so now I'm just gonna kind of lay them down so that I know where they're gonna end up, and then I can add some of the other elements to my layout without losing space for my journaling. I have decided that I need just a little bit more to my layout, and I remembered that Anna included a beautiful sequin mix that she curates for the creative ambassadors, and it also ends up in orders throughout the month that she created it in. This particular mix came in the September Creative Ambassador kit, and plus I got a second little baggie of it in one of my orders, and so I'm going to use it to scatter it around this layout because I decided it worked perfectly with my page. Unfortunately, I forgot to zoom my camera lens out here for you, so it's a little bit hard at first to see what I'm doing, but I am gluing down the sequins using quick dry glue and my pickup tool from Marvin. I'm finishing up the details of my layout. I am going to go ahead and adhere the journaling strips to my layout here. I'm just eyeballing it, hoping to get them somewhat straight. You know me, I'm not into rulers, and so I'm not verifying that they're straight enough for me. So I like where they're at, and now I'm just going to do some finishing touches, some bits and pieces, and add a little bit of foam tape. And then here is a close-up view of my layout. I hope that you enjoyed my process, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you like what you saw, click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Bye.